Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pandesal Forum of Kamuning Bakery Cafe. We are very privileged today to have a very popular, famous, and dynamic former Senator Bongbong Marcos. Yung staff ko kanina, binigyan ako ng buy date. Sabi ko, sikat na si Senator Bongbong, hindi ko kailangan pakilala. Welcome, Senator, again to Pandesal Forum. They're asking if you have any short message first before we go to the question and answer. You look very well rested, Senator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Well rested dahil siyempre hindi na kagaya ng the last time nandito tayo nasa gitna ng kampanya. Talagang laging pagod at laging puyat. Pero at least much improved. No, ang ano sa ngayon ay ang oras ko ay taken up by the protest that I am in the middle of, at mukha namang dahan-dahan ay gumagalaw din. Umaasa kami na itong buwan na ito, October, magsimula na ang pag-recover ng mga ballot box galing sa iba't ibang lugar, galing sa yung tatlo naming tinatawag na pilot provinces, yung sa Iloilo, sa Negros Oriental at saka sa Camarines Sur. At pagdating ng mga ballot box, dadalhin dito sa Maynila, dadalhin sa Supreme Court na compound, doon sa gym nila. At doon magsisimula na ang recount. At kami tiyak na tiyak na kapag nagsimula ng recount, lalabas na ang tunay na resulta at makikita na hindi naging tama ang pagbilang sa nakaraang halalan sa Vice Presidente. So that is what I have been doing in the recent months, actually in the last over a year, na yan ang aming ginagawa at patuloy pa rin. At siyempre, magtatanong kayo na parang matagal, talagang matagal at natatagalan kami, sana mas mabilis. Pero at least gumagalaw na. So that is what I have been occupying myself with. And that is the priorities. Those are the priorities that I have now. Siyempre, patuloy pa rin ang ating serbisyo, naghahanap ng paraan kung paano makatulong hindi lamang sa administrasyon kundi sa taong bayan. And ganun lang naman talaga ang ating hangarin na makatulong. And I am happy to be here. I thank you that you have invited me. Si Wilson has always been very accommodating dito sa kanyang forum. So magandang umaga sa inyo lahat.
Thank you. Welcome to Senator. Anyone who wants to ask the first question? Anyone here?
So yung siguro sa protest muna,
Okay.
anong areas yung parang inaasahan ninyo na yung dadalhin na dito yung mga...
Well, actually, ang pinapa-recount namin is 36 provinces, 39 provinces. But yung pilot provinces, yung tatlo na banggit ko, Negros Oriental, Iloilo, at saka Camarines Sur. Dahil doon sa tatlong yun, ang pinakamalaking undervote. Yung undervote, yung mga boto na votes that were cast na hindi binilang. At napakalaki masyado. Meron kasing yung mga nag-a-analyze ng mga electronic transmission na election ay sinasabi nila pagka you more or less according to experience, pag may 1% na undervote, acceptable yun. Dahil kuminsan talaga nagkakamali. Halimbawa, sa senador, imbis na 12 ang binoto, 13 ang binoto, so spoil yun. So kahit may boto, hindi na bibilang yun. Halimbawa, Vice President, dalawang na-shade, na markahan, whatever, na-spoil yung ballot. So yung 1% is acceptable na ganyan talaga, meron talagang ganyan. Pag sinabi nyo lang 5%, sabi nyo, suspicious na yun. Delikado na yun. Pagka umabot ng 10%, sigurado nang may dayaan. May mga lugar doon sa area na yun na umaabot ng 70%, na umaabot sa, basta lumalampas na lampas doon sa 10, 12%, may mga 20%. Meron talaga yung mga outlying na presinto. umaabot na ng 70%. May mga lugar pa nga may mga ibang lugar pa, 90%, 90+%. Kaya kitang-kita talaga na merong tinapon yung mga ibang boto. Just to explain, halimbawa, just to give us an example, kay Pangulong Duterte, sa boto niya, ang undervote niya, 1 million. Sa akin, ang nawalang boto sa akin, halos 4 million. Kaya kitang-kita mo talaga na talagang nagbawas sila ng boto sa akin. At siguro, linagay sa ibang kandidato. So that is what we are hoping to show. And I'm very confident dahil siyempre alam natin yung mga resulta doon sa ibang lugar from surveys, etc. na consistent talaga doon sa sinasabi namin very suspicious na undervotes.
Saan po nanggaling yung 4 million? Ano po yung basis ng allegation na 4 million?
Yung resulta ng COMELEC. How many people voted how many were counted and how many were not counted. The difference is the undervote.
Sir, kailan ulit yung retrieval, if ever?
I'm sorry?
Kailan ulit yung retrieval of these ballot boxes?
We're hoping this month. Pero kasi nag-organize ng tribunal, sinasabi nga nila na meron tayo na magbubuo ng ang tinatawag na exploratory team para pupunta doon sa lugar na yon. Tapos titignan ilan ba talaga ilan ang balota, paano dadalhin sa Maynila, saan isasakay, etc. para secure na hindi magalaw. Kaya we are waiting for the instructions of the tribunal. Nakahanda na yung sa side namin. Alam ko na nag-hire na yung tribunal ng mga tawag na revisor, yung nandun na uupo at titignan lahat ng yung balota at bibilangin ulit bibilangin ulit yung boto. So, naka-ready na kami lahat. Inaantay na lang namin yung tribunal na sabihin on this date. Umaasa nga kami, nasa October gagawin.
Kaya po tatagal ng recount?
Ang recount siguro, kasi simple lang yan ang proposal nga sa tribunal, 50 tables. Kasi yung gym nila, yung kalahati, storage, para secure yung mga balota. Yung kabilang kalahati, lalagyan ng mesa. Ang pagkakasahin nila doon is 50. Sa palagay ko, yung estimate namin, sa umpisa, dahil kumakapa pa, mga one ballot box per day, per table. Pero siguro pag bumilis na yung proseso, baka kaya na ng 2 ballot boxes per table per day. So between 3 and 4 between 1 month, 2 months tapos na.
Bago matapos po ang taon, may desisyon na po kaya?
Bago
matapos ang taon, may desisyon na po kaya?
Kung maumpisahan natin this month, palagay ko may lalabas na resulta.
Sir, ano-anong mga province nga po yung nasa posisyon?
Yung lahat mahabang listahan yun
Pero sir, tatapusin mo na yung...
Pero kasi hindi ginagawa lahat. Nagpapa-identify sa amin ang tribunal ng tinatawag nga na pilot provinces. Sa aming palagay, pag nabilang na ng tama yung tatlo, makikita na mababawi na yung 200 something thousand supposedly na lamang.
Kahit di tapusin yung lahat po ng may diferensya sa...
Alimbawa sa Kamsur, ang diferensya ng boto 800,000 to 30,000. So doon lang, 260,000, kitang-kita mo na. Imposible naman 800,000, 30,000 ang nakuha ko. 800,000 nakuha ko.
Sir, in your latest manifestation before the SC, you're dropping your presentation of your testimonial evidence to the 36,000 clustered precincts.
No, what we are saying essentially is that the best evidence is the ballot box. So whatever other evidence you can present, we will be happy to present it. Yung tribunal na naglilimit. Pero sinasabi namin, eventually lahat yan, kahit na ano, because there are two causes of action left. One is the recount, and the second is the annulment of the 3 provinces. So it's more important, especially for the annulment of the election in 3 provinces. That's Maguindanao, Basilan, and Lanao del Sur. where we claim and we are certain we can prove na hindi magandang patakbo ng election and therefore it should be nullified. In those cases, there might be a requirement to provide testimonial evidence. But doon sa pagbilang, sabihin, wala nang ang ebidensya yung balota. Buksan natin yung balota, bilangin natin, yun na yung tama, yun ang pinaka matibay na ebidensya.
So, sir, you're not, this is,
Kasi muna tayo.
No, it's okay.
so this is the concern naman, since the Robredo Act is saying, because you're dropping your testimonial evidence, it's another proof that you're merely fishing for evidence, sabi po ni Attorney Mac Makalinda.
Yeah, of course, that's what Robin Mac will say because that's on the other side. The best evidence, it is a well-established principle in all electoral protests that the best evidence is the ballot. Kasi nandiyan, yun ang balota. So, I'm fishing for evidence in the sense that I want the ballots to come back so I can show that evidence.
So, but for your third cause of action, you will present testimonies from witnesses.
Well, we have to ask the lawyers exactly what their strategies will be when it comes to that. Kasi hindi pa masyado na-decide yung mga ganun. Napag-usapan lang was the first cause and the third cause of action. The second cause was has not been discussed in detail.
Copy tayo.
Sir, kung sakali mga mapatunayan at lalabas talagang nagkaroon ng discrepancy o pandaraya, posible bang makasuhan din si Vice President Leni Robredo? Ano na mga kaso ang possible na yun?
Hindi ko alam. Again, you have to talk to the lawyers. Dahil ang iniintindi ko lang yung resulta eh. I'm not going after anybody. I'm not going. Basta I want to show that talagang hindi tama yung resulta na pinalabas ng COMELEC. At may ginawa ang Smartmatic para baguhin nga ang mga numero, ang resulta. Despite the fact na ang action na bumoto sa akin, hindi naman sa kabila. So that's up to the government. Kung sabihin ng gobyerno, may ginawa ito na mali, ganyan. Hindi, kung gusto nila kasuhan, hindi kakasuhan nila. Hindi yan ang interest ko. Ang interest ko palabasin yung tama na resulta.
How did you recover, sir, from the setback? Kasi after the election, you look refreshed and okay. How did you recover? Ano ginawa niyo, sir?
Wala naman. Just keep doing what I've been doing dahil meron nga maraming nang kailangan gawin. Matrabaho itong protesta na ito. So, I guess the best way to recover is to get back to work. So, kung anong kailangan gawin, just go back to we were hoping the results would be accurate. They were not, so we have to do something para palabasin yung tunay na resulta.
How do you rate President Duterte as leader from 1 to 10? Kasi 1 year na nakaraan and there are many noises, positive and negative, for or against the President.
Alam niyo, it's not for me to rate the President. Dahil kalyado ko po ang Pangulo. Sinasasabihin ko, 10 out of 10. Pero siguro, ang more significant na statistic, tignan ninyo kung anong approval rating niya sa tao. Alam naman ninyo lahat, di ba, kahit na sinong presidente magsisimula mataas, dahan-dahan bumababa, kanya hindi. Nagsimula siya sa bandang 70, umabot ng 76, tapos may mga ibang reserve nag-80 pa. So, the approval rating of the President is the best indicator of the job that he's doing. With an 80% approval rating, which is, I believe, unprecedented, then he must get the highest marks. He is being given the highest possible marks by our people, and that is the most important statistic of all.
So how much have you already spent to this?
Well, we've already given the Supreme Court para yung inaano sa amin was a total of 66 million. Yun daw ang gagastusin nila para we still contend kasi ang batas sinasabi na ang pagbayad para doon sa mga presinto na bubuksan. Pero ang tribunal decided na magbabayad ako para sa lahat ng presinto kahit na hindi pa bubuksan. Siguro in-expect nila na mag-motion for reconsideration ako para ma-delay ulit. Hindi, sabi ko, kung kaya natin erase yung pera, ibayad na natin para tuloy-tuloy, hindi na mahadlangan yung proseso. And that's what's happened.
Sir, paano po ang binabayaran nyo per ballot boxes?
Hindi, yung mga expenses yung sa pagdala ng balota rito, pag-hire ng mga revisor, so it's hindi not necessarily. Siyempre, pag mas maraming ballot box na bibilangin, mas malaking pabayaran mo. Pero hindi lang yung by box ang bayaran. Pati yung supplies yung papel, yung lapis, sinacharge sa amin natin.
So out of 66 million, how much na?
You'll have to ask the tribunal. Dahil wala na sa amin yung pera. Oo, nasa kanila na eh.
Sir, going back lang to the president, yung sinasabing conspiracy ng whites, yellows, reds, anong masasabi ninyo doon, sir?
Well, I think I don't think kahit naman hindi yung mga political observer, hindi yung mga political na analyst, kitang-kita na talagang pinagkakaisa, talagang full blast na sila kontra kay presidente. So I don't think that it's any surprise for me to hindi naman siguro kayo magugulat kung magsasabi ako na talagang maliwanag na pinagkakaisahan siya na gusto siyang pabagsakin. Which is funny because sinasabi nila na yan ang tinig, ang boses ng tao. Ang boses ng tao, approve kay Duterte. So ano yung sinasabi nila na silang nagre-represent sa tao? Hindi na sila nagre-represent ng tao. Si Duterte nagre-represent ng tao dahil approved sa taong bayan ang ginagawa ni Presidente.
So if ever totoo naman, sir, you think hindi naman magsasucceed yung ganong efforts?
Hindi siguro, mahirap sigurong I don't see how they can succeed. There is no popular support for the destabilization of the Duterte administration. Kung lumabas tayo sa taong bayan, kausapin mo ang taong bayan, talaga maliwanag na suportado nila itong halimbawa yung mga anti-drug na ginagawa ni Pangulo, ganyan talaga na nakikita naman ng tao na it's safer at yung problema talaga. Halimbawa, itong I have been asking kasi syempre yung focus ko since before yung local government, tinatanong ko tungkol sa barangay elections, SK elections na postponement. Naiintindihan naman ng tao na ang dahilan dahil na kung ang sabi ng Pangulo, sabi ni President Duterte, sabi niya, kung mag-eleksyon ngayon, kinakalaban ko mga drug lord, gagastos yan para lahat ng barangay official nasa bulsa nila. Kaya i-postpone muna natin kasi magiging narco-politics ang bagsak natin dito, lalo na sa barangay level. Yan ang pinakamatindi dahil yan ang pinakamalapit sa tao. So that is understanding. So yun ang dahilan na binibigay ni Pangulong Duterte, mukhang naunawaan naman ng tao. So I think that kind of understanding. Alam mo mga Philippine voter, marunong na, hindi na madaling bulayan We're too intelligent already for this kind of dissembling na ginagawa ng opposition.
Sir, comment niyo dun sa ombudsman investigation sa wealth ng Duterte family.
Well, all I can say, I don't know what the motivations are behind that. All I can say is that I have known Mayor Duterte since magka-30 years ko na yata about 20-something years ko na siyang kilala. Alam ko kung paano mamuhay ang taong yan. Hindi At saka ang reputation niya sa Davao, very, very clear. Kausapin mo, kahit sinong negosyante, yung may-ari ng sari-sari store, hanggang yung may-ari ng power plant. Tanungin mo isa-isa. Anong binigay niyo kay Duterte para magtayo ng negosyo rito? Lahat consistently will tell you. Nung mayor yan, wala kaming hinihingi sa amin yan. Hindi kami nagbibigay. Kung regaluhan namin, binabalik sa amin. Ang hinihiling lang niya, magbayad kayo ng buwis na tama, at ako naman bilang mayor, aayusin ko yung city para magandang negosyo ninyo. Yun pa rin ang approach niya sa pagkapangulo. So, imbestigahan nila ng imbestiga kung gusto nila, pero huwag sila mag-invento. Kaya naman nauuso itong fake news. Invento naman kasi lahat yan. Sinabi na nga niya, 40 million ang pera niya. That seems reasonable. After a lifetime of hard work, or starting as a prosecutor, tapos naging mayor, 40 million, reasonable. Alam ko, yung iba sa inyo rito, mas mayaman pa sa 40 million sa kanya. So, but I get, yun ang...
Sa tabi niya, sir.
Ha? Ako naman, sinabi ko pa, pinapadaplis ko lang eh. Tinuro ko na kagad eh.
Sir, you mentioned
Ako, pero marami pera, pero ayaw magpautang eh.
Sir, you mentioned about fake news. You mentioned about fake news earlier. Sir, can we get your opinion on the Senate hearing yesterday on fake news? Because it caused quite a lot of fuss because they're saying the hearing is about fake news and then their guests are supposedly the people who are purveyors of fake news. Sir, so how would you view that?
I think mali yung approach kasi bakit mo pipigilan yung mga vlogger? You know, I have always said, nung pumutok itong issue na ito, nung when they were talking about liabilities for libel over the internet, na sinasabi ko, you know, pabayaan nila the internet is the great equalizer. Eh. Kung ayaw mo, halimbawa, may nagpa-vlog, sabi, pag binasa mo yung vlog, sabi, puro naman kasinungalingan to, di wag mo na basahin. Parang pabayaan, that is an opinion. That is somebody's opinion. Everybody is allowed to express their opinion. So if you do not believe what they are saying, if you believe this person is lying or this person is just masyadong mahina ang ulo, hindi tama yung mga kanyang pag-iisip, di huwag niyong basahin o huwag niyong sundan. Pakinggan ninyo yung alam ninyo na marunong. So, but you have to allow people to express themselves.
But sir, isn't having an opinion doesn't give you the liberty to spread lies? Because isn't that's the criticism to, for example, Asek mo who would parang irresponsibly say certain things and she has been caught giving false information and she's already an Asek.
Okay, so you take what she writes as with that in mind. Sasabihin mo, yun, kung minsan nagkakamali ito. So, baka mali ito, tignan muna natin. So, it's up to the reader. It's up to the consumer to assess kung yung vlogger ba ay may sinabi ba talaga ito o wala, ay araw-araw binabasa ko ito, puro naman mali ang sinasabi, eh huwag ko na babasahin. You have to, the vloggers are expressing an opinion. You whether or not, if you violently disagree with their opinion, then you say so. Yan ang maganda sa internet, eh, pwede mo sagutin eh. Pwede mo, pagka minumura ka, murahin mo rin, di ba? Yan, kaya interactive nga eh. So that you cannot suppress that. At saka there's no way to suppress that. There's no way to suppress that. Maybe if you do the things that some countries are doing, but dapat pabayaan. The bloggers are expressing an opinion.
But they shouldn't be sir irresponsible because people believe them eh. Kasi
the ultimate responsibility is that nobody reads them. What's the point of having a blog? Wala namang nagbabasa sa'yo. Ikaw lang nagbablog. Ikaw lang bumabasa sa sarili mong blog. At saka yung kapatid mo. At saka yung pamilya mo. Wala rin.
Malaki po ang following nila sir online ni Lex Asek mo kasi PP. Malaki po ang followers nila sir and you really control the conversation.
That's the whole point of the internet. You cannot control the conversation. Kasi kahit anong sabihin ng kabit ng sino man, I can go on the internet, kahit sino man ako, and I can say, hindi totoo yan. Ito yung totohanan, ito yung katotohanan. At saka yung analysis nila, mali. Hindi nila naintindihan kung ano nangyayari. So sagutin mo. That's the beauty of the internet. Pantay-pantay. When you get onto your computer, when you get on your phone, and you get on the internet, it doesn't matter who you are. You're all the same. So, nasa taong nagbabasa yan, mag-assess kung ano ba talaga ang ano. Sanay na kami dyan sa fake news. Kami sa pamilya ko, 30 taon na namin tinitiis yung mga kasinungalingan ng fake news na yan eh. O tingnan mo yung nangyari doon sa UPLB. Isn't that the classic fake news na ginawa? Na instance of fake news na sinasabi na kung ano-anong ganito, magbayad kayo, ganyan. Although the one in the UPLB, I have to say, naiba ito. Dahil matagal na namin nakikita sa iba't ibang lugar sa Philippines. I'm sure kayo rin naririnig nyo, may mga foundation, may mga institute, ganyan. Pinapangako na magbayad kayo ng membership fee, mabibigyan kayo ng malaking pera, ng bahit lupa, kung anong galing sa mga mangkos. Yung mga racket yun, lahat ng lugar, pero small time lang yun. Itong nangyari sa UPLB is the best, is the well-organized, well-funded. Palagay ko, meron talagang gumagalaw na paninira sa amin yun. Yan ang fake news. That is the fake news because may biktima. Binibiktima nila yung mga supporter ng Marcos, binibiktima nila yung mga matatanda, yung mga umaasa na sana meron silang makuha, nangangako sila ng kung ano-ano. That is the perfect example of fake news, and that is being used for political purposes. Ako, I cannot point to any particular proof, but I have been watching itong mga racket na ito for 30 years, since 86. Matagal ko nang nakikita. Lahat ng nakita ko small time lang. Pero itong nangyari sa UPLB, hindi small time ito. May gumastos dito ng malaki. May nag-organize dito. Merong umupo, nag-meeting. Kaya itong gagawin natin, sirain natin yung mga Marcos.
Sir,
Did you get wind of it early enough?
I got wind of it on the day. Because may kaibigan akong nakatira sa UPLB, nagpadala ng picture sa akin ng mga bus na dumadating. Sabi ko, ano nangyayari dito? Pupunta ka ba rito? Dahil mga Marcos supporter itong nandito, ganyan-ganyan. Sabi ko, wala akong alam niya.
Did you go out in public to shut down the...
I did. I issued a statement on that same day.
Same day.
Oh. The moment we found out, I started finding out about it in the morning, mga 10 o'clock, na may dadatingan ng dadagsaan ng mga tao. Sabi ko, hindi ko naintindihan. So, I asked somebody to go and find out what's going on. Kasi lumalabas yung pangalan namin. And sabi nga nila, ganun na nga, na pinangakuan sila ng kung ano-ano.
Baka kailangan ng TV, Senator.
Ha?
Kinailangan niya siguro ng TV dapat ng dati.
Well, at that point, we still didn't know what was going on. Nung nalaman namin, gano'n na naman, I issued a statement in the afternoon. Early in the afternoon, naglabas na ako ng statement na hindi ito totoo. Na huwag silang magpapaloko. Since then, pinag-aaralan namin kung anong nangyari. It was so well organized. May nag-organize dito para magkaroon ng ganong karaming tao na madala doon sa lugar na yon. May gumastos ng malaki dito para gawin ito. Hindi masasabi na babawi niya yung gastos doon sa tinatawag na membership fee. So, it wasn't a money-making proposition. This was a political action on somebody's part.
Sir, kakasuhan niyo ba? Meron ba kayong...
Sino yung principal?
Pinapa-imbestiga namin, the only good thing that came out of this is that the authorities took notice. Matagal na namin sinusumbong yan. Yung mga foundation, mga cooperative na kung ano. Pero like I said, small time lahat sila. So ang ginagawa namin sa local government, pinupuntahan ko yung mga local officials. Kasi pahuli ninyo yan dahil hindi nagsisinungaling yan, hindi sa galing sa amin yan.
Pero ito, bago po kanyo...
Pero ito, at a different level itong nangyari dun sa UPLB. Ibang isipin mo, napapunta nilang tao doon is almost 12,000.
Sir, is it connected dun sa recount? Is it connected dun sa recount?
I don't know what it is, pero paninira sa Marcos yan.
Pero sino, sir, yung hiningang?
Ano sa palagay ninyo? Sino naninira sa mga Marcos araw-araw? Walang ginawa. Mula nung gumising hanggat matulog, iniisip ko paano sirain ang mga Marcos. Sila yun.
Galing na yung magsabi kung sino.
Ay, nako.
Galing sa mouth yun.
Ano?
Kayo na yung magsalita kung sino yung mga tao na to para at least galing sa inyo mismo.
Well, who was that? Sino in the past, I don't know how many years, na walang ginawa kundi sirain ang gustong sirain ang pangalan ng mga Marcos. Sino ang may pera na gumastos na ganyan? Who has the political wherewithal to pull that kind of thing off? And who will have an interest in doing that? Sagutin mo yun, alam naman nila.
Are you saying that, you know?
Well, I'm sure they have something to do with it.
Hi, good morning po. Incoming Vice President and through, hopefully, former Senator Bongbong Marcos.
Thank
Sir,
you.
tanong ko lang po, no, what's your stand regarding this nullification of the proclamation of Vice President Robredo by the Supreme Court na hindi pinaguran itong since it's still unauthenticated certificate of canvases for the Vice Presidency. What's your reaction po na parang
Ano yan?
di ba po may plea na yung proclamation po ni Vice President Lenny Robredo parang i-nullify muna since hindi pa tapos ito and unauthenticated certificate of canvases.
Well, I don't think that's the way it works. I think the process is that na-proclaim na siya. So the way it works is that we have to go back now and prove that the results upon which the proclamation was based were erroneous. And that's what we are going to prove before the tribunal. We're not erroneous, we're inaccurate. We're manipulated, we're interfered with, and hence we're inaccurate.
Kape mo na. Sir, kape mo na kayo pang
Tama na, nanginginig na yung loob. Dahil sa mga question niya.
Sir, meron pong observation na medyo mabagal yung galaw sa PET. Dahil sinasabi yung kanilang dinesisyonan lamang ang may kaugnayan doon sa exploratory works kung paano pupunin. Pero kung paano talaga masisimulan kagad yung pagbubukas sa balota ay malamang matagalan pa daw because there's no resolution yet from the PET regarding the matter na yan ba ay itakda na yung pag-retrieve dun sa mga balota.
Meron na.
Meron na po.
Meron na. Pero wala pang yung pag-organize na ng mga exploratory team, pati na yung pag-hire ng mga revisor, tawag sa kanila revisor, yung magbabasahin, yung magbabasa talaga ng balota. Ay may instruction na, pero hindi pa ginagawa. Yun ang inaabangan namin. Kasi kami, naka-ready na kami. Ready kung sabihin nila ngayon, today, now, within the hour, we can start already. So we're just waiting on the tribunal. Now, what the delay is, you have to ask the ponente. Why are we waiting for so long?
Do you think by protecting...
You know, just as an example, the two vice presidential protests, yung kay Loren, yung una yung kay Loren at saka yung pangalawa yung kay Mar. From the time that the protest was filed, yung Mayong eleksyon, September may preliminary conference na. Yung akin, yung preliminary conference ko took more than 1 year. Bakit kaya? Hindi ko maintindihan. So, and mas prosigido ako doon sa protesta ko kaysa kay Loren kaysa kay Mac. Kasi si Loren, si Man, hindi nagbayad eh. Ako, nagbayad ka agad ako. So, paulit-ulit, ang kulit na nga namin sa tribunal, yung reiterative motion. That's a new term that I learned from my lawyers. Reiterating is a motion to reiterate na madali na. Paulit-ulit. And we have just been trying to make it faster and faster, but siguro, I don't know what the reasons are. But talagang napakatagal. There's actually a rule na pagka-file ng protest, kailangan preliminary conference within 3 months. But hindi nasunod. Kaya ang problema, pag hindi sinundan ng tribunal, ng Supreme Court, kanino ka magsusumbong?
Okay, next question. Kathy Cruz po.
Hello.
VP Bongbong.
Yes, ma'am.
Opo. Do you think that the other strategy to win your fight is to impeach or file a case against COMELEC chairman in order to validate that the Smartmatic system is a failure and that the previous administration had conspiracy with COMELEC chairman? So LP will surely win during that election.
Well, ang mga lumalabas na ebidensya, meron siyang contact talaga sa Smartmatic na outside of the COMELEC. Hindi ba yung dinala ng wife niya, yung mga evidence na nagkikita sila ng Smartmatic sa New York, sa Hong Kong, kung saan. Now, it's normal for the chairman of the COMELEC to talk to Smartmatic dahil sila nagpapatakbo ng eleksyon. Bakit nila kailangan going out na patago? Na hindi naka-record. Kung hindi nakita ng wife niya dun sa apartment nila, hindi natin malalaman. Tinatago talaga nila.
Ano pong plano po ninyong gawin? Are you going to have to file a case against ano?
Again, hindi yan ang interest ko. Ang interest ko yung resulta. Besides, my case is not before COMELEC. My case is before the Electoral Tribunal. So whatever happens to Andy Bautista, it doesn't really affect me. Doesn't affect my case. So, ang worry lang namin, because baka, malapit na magbibid na naman ang mga baka Smartmatic na naman ang kunin nila kasi nandyan pa siya. The Smartmatic, andyan na naman tayo. Alam na naman natin kung anong nangyari. No, many people, everybody knows na may nangyari. Ang ang gusto namin ipakita kung paano ginawa ang pandaraya. Ngayon, alam natin na may pandaraya. Tapos kukunin na naman natin ang Smartmatic. Paano naman yun? Dapat persona non grata na yung mga yan. Ang mga isipin mo nagpatakbo ng halalan noong 2016 and it turns out na hindi lang 16 nung 13 nung 10 mga puro Venezuelan, walang Pilipino ang humawak doon sa mga resulta.
And then another question,
we should not allow that. Yeah.
Recently po, nagkaroon ng press conference ang Citizen National Guard supported by Department of Justice and Attorney Persida Acosta. And the group was formed dahil nga po nakita nila that there are 5 groups na tinatawag nilang enemies of the state, na sila yung dahilan kung bakit po nagkakagulo ang ating bayan at mismong kapwa Pilipino nag-aaway-away. And one of these 5 enemies of the state na mention nila is not just the CIA, but the yellow cards na tinatawag nila. And among these are some media practitioners also na minention nila during that press conference. And nakikita po nila na lahat ng atake na ginagawa ngayon with the President is really not just to regime change, but to have a chaos in our country. What can you say about it? Nangyari ito sa father mo during those days.
Tignan mo na lang. Ako, I've been watching all of this na mga pangyayari. Ang mga gustong pabagsakin si Duterte, hindi dahil sa kanilang paniniwala na hindi tama si Duterte o hindi gusto ng tao si Duterte. Ang kanilang ginagawa ay pamumulitika. Kailangan sila ang umupo. Hindi pwedeng umupo kahit sino. Sila lang ang pwedeng umupo. So they are not working for the national interest. Hindi importante kung ano ikabubuti ng Pilipinas para sa kanila. Ang importante lang ang ano ikabubuti para sa kanilang partido. It's only the partisan interest that they are fighting for. They're not fighting for the national interest. And that has been, unfortunately, the nature of politics under these people. And that is why binoto ng tao si Duterte so that change will come.
Thank you.
Senator? Sir, sinabi niyo kanina na you're looking for ways to tulungan ang administrasyon sa ang bayan. May sinabi dati si Presidente Duterte mga last month yata na merong lumapit sa kanya na representative from your family na nag-offer ng magsoli ng yaman, that was his term, including some gold bars. Can you give us the lowdown?
I cannot, because wala pang masyadong pinag-usapan. Look, ang posisyon ng mga Marcos has been consistent since 1986. Na una-una, kailangan natin i-settle to dahil masyado nang magulo ito. This is not helpful. Walang naitutulong ito. And we have always said, meron kaming sinasabi, halimbawa, yung mga properties namin na nasa pamilya na mula bago pa nag-1965. Bago pa nag-1972, nasa amin na. So sinasabi namin, kung meron kayong hinahanap na kailangan maghanap, meron na katago. Sabi namin, kung meron tapat ang paniniwala ninyo, meron kami tinatawag, kung meron kayong mahanap, inyo na. It is called in legal terms a quit claim. We have issued that quit claim since the Ramos administration. In fact, we had already signed an agreement on that basis with then Chairman Gunigundo of the who was then Chairman of the PCGG, pero ayaw lang ni Ramos. But that has been the consistent position of the family. And I think that is what Gov. Aimee expressed to the President. Na ganun pa rin. We're always willing to settle. Pag-usapan natin, ano ba pwede gawin para matapos din po. 30 taon na ito. Anong kaso ang alam ninyo na 30 taon hanggang ngayon, wala pang ebidensya, wala pang pinakita, wala pang hindi pa umandar. Because it is in the interest, the partisan interest, again, of these same people na keep it alive. Para may away. Ayaw nilang ipagkaisa ang Pilipinas, gusto nila ipatiin. Because nga, they're not working for the national interest, they're not working for the good of the country, they're working for the good of their party. That is the difference between Duterte and his opposition. He is trying to work for, nakikita ng taong bayan that Duterte is working in the national interest. Whether or not you agree with him, I think that people can see sincerely wants to make things better. Ito mga tao to, it's not a question of sincerely wanting to make things better. It's a question of paano ako tanggalin yan para ako ang umupo dyan.
So what was the agreement between the governor and the...
There has been no agreement na wala pang usapan. The lawyers, I think, have made some preliminary discussions, pero nothing has been decided. Nothing substantial has been decided yet. Even the process, who will be involved, etc. Hindi pa masyado.
Are these talks continuing, sir?
Sporadically, I think. I don't think there's a weekly meeting or anything like that.
And you mentioned something about you needing immunity from suit or something like that. Is that a demand on your part?
No, it's a settlement. What we're talking about is a settlement. They were not asking for it. Wala naman ako kasalanan eh. I don't need immunity. I didn't do anything wrong. I did not commit any crime.
Immunity from future suits?
No. What we're saying is we're settling the case. You're settling the case. Parang nag-adjudication tayo. We're fighting over a piece of land. We get an adjudicator to come in. What they decide, yun na yun. Settle na tayo. Agreed ko, tapos na. Wala na kaso.
Magkano ba yung nakademanda ngayon, sir?
Nobody files against, you don't file against me, I don't file against you. Tapos ang kaso.
Do you have an estimate kung magkano yung under litigation pa?
Under litigation? Wala.
Wala na?
We, the Marcos family, are not parties anymore to the all of yung ginagawa ng PCGG. It's already with the government. So that has, kaya nga you cannot ask me that question. I cannot answer that question. Kasi nga sinasabi, hindi nga, wala namang kami alam. Kung meron nga kayong makita, di kunin ninyo. Quit claim nga, hindi talaga amin yan.
Sorry, sir. Ano yung sinasettle natin?
I don't know. Look. First, I am not privy to that conversation. All I know is that I have expressed to you the same position that the family has held since 1986. That we have identified whatever belongs to the family, the provenance of those assets, those properties, whatever they might be. And if the government is saying na may tinatago pa kami, sabi ko, we will help you find it. And you can have it. Quick claim na eh.
But those in question are yung mga properties na pinag-question, yun po ba yung sinasettle?
Hindi. Kasi yung mga sequestered properties, halimbawa, yung mga bahay ng father ko, pati yung buntod ng mga ninuno ko, kinalkal para hanapan ng gold, yung mga ganun klaseng kaso. You know, those for us that maliwanag naman na talagang hindi naman
yung first settlement, sir, ano yun?
Hindi ko alam lahat yan. Look, you are asking details. There are no details.
How about these few gold bars?
Wala akong masabi, wala akong alam tungkol dyan.
Kasi sinabi ni President yung some few gold bars.
Because I don't know why you have to ask the President. Don't ask me. Because like I said, I heard this has been. I am stating once again the position of the family. That has not changed from 1986.
Yung 100th anniversary of your father, how do you assess the history of your father? Kasi maraming, do you want to do a biography of your father from your side? You had a good speech.
Marami talagang revisionism ang nangyari since 1986. Nag-umpisa pa yan, 83 pa lang yan, they're revising history already. So of course, gusto namin ayusin yun. Gusto namin sasagutin, it's not a version, it's the truth. We will not provide a version of we will provide the truth. And that's what's important. Lahat naman kayo, you have access to all of this information. Most of you were still around in that time. Alam naman ninyo kung ano yung sinungaling, ano yung totoo, ano ba yung talaga. Wala kami sinasabing kasinungalingan. Kung ano yung nangyari, yun ang sinasabi namin. Yung iba, gusto nilang i-spin, yan, i-fake news. Yan, kaya kung ano-ano pinagsasabi na hindi naman talaga totoo. Tingnan na lang ninyo, yan, madali lang ng kasinungalingan eh. Sinong nagsisinungaling, sinong nagsasabi ng totoo. Sa aking palagay, lahat ng kung nagkamali man kami na hindi tama yung sinabi, kinokorek namin. Pero ang gusto namin mangyari ay palabasin yung katotohanan, hindi yung minasahe na kwento. na para tirahin ang isang tao, ang kabilang kapatid, ang kalaban na partido. Pamumulitika yung kanilang ginagawa, yung aming history.
Sir, ano bang katotohanan?
Tungkol saan?
Yung sinasabi nyo na dapat ito yung katotohanan.
Hindi, yung katotohanan, yung kung ano ba talaga nangyari nung administrasyon ng father ko. Kung ano yung mga project niya, kung ano yung mga ginawa niya, kung paano siya nakatulong sa bansa, yung mga ganun na bagay. Kung ano ba talaga nangyari, kung ano yung pagkakamali niya, kung ano naman yung tama.
Including the alleged human rights violations, kasi ito yung pinaka-main issue during your father's time.
Hindi ba na ano na yan? That has been decided in the court. Again, it's between now, not the Marcos family, it's between the Philippine government and the claimants.
Will you come up with a biography, sir?
There are many already. We've been collecting if you look at it, there's a Marcos Library in the National Library, nandun lahat, interview tungkol sa mga about Mindanao, about the military, about agriculture, about economic policy, about legal policy, about monetary policy during my father's time. It's just it's published. It's there already. Hindi nga binabalik pa sa amin yung diary, tinatago pa sa amin yung ibang
wala pa kayong kopya?
No, may kopya kami pero hindi kumpleto. Dahan-dahan namin ilalabas yan. Makikita ninyo, maraming tatamaan doon ng...
Si Ambeto Campo got some of the copies.
Everybody has a little bit here and a little bit there, pero hindi pa ako nakakita ng kumpleto.
How many?
And marami yun, because since 1969, araw-araw nakikita ko yung father ko sumusulat ng gabi bago matulog.
Every night sumusulat?
Almost every night. 95% of the nights may sinusulat.
How long does he spend siguro like
It depends on the day. May araw, may isang oras siyang sumusulat. May araw, sandali, mabilis lang yung sinusulat.
So kahit na ganun ka-busy siya, he has a sense of history, writing everything down.
It was important to him for people to understand why he did the things that he did. And to truly show what that situation was. And I have to say, na mga bata, the so-called millennials, ganun ang tanong sa amin. Yung mga nag-Facebook sa amin, ang tinatanong, ano bang, sige, alam na namin, nag-martial law yung father mo, bakit niya ginawa? Ano yung iniisip niya? What were the circumstances surrounding his decision? Ganun ang mga tanong nila. Because people want to know. Like I said, ang mga millennials, sanay na, they don't take what comes out on the internet as face value. Kasi alam nila, marami kang pambobola, marami kang sinungaling, marami kang spin, propaganda, etc.
Are you active on the internet? Ay, nakikita ko kayo.
Yeah.
You're on Twitter.
You have to be, especially if you're in public life, you have to be active. Kahit na sinong hindi na pwedeng kung minsan napupunta ako sa ibang lugar na walang internet connection, talagang mahirap na talaga. You cannot work anymore without being on the internet. In terms of the social media, syempre you have to participate. Dahil nga, maraming lumalabas na hindi totoo, kailangan mo sagutin.
So these Marcos tiles again pala, were they stolen? Were they left in the
they were taken, kinuha sa amin.
How many volumes yan? It was hidden in the library?
Mga ilang balikbayan box doon, ilan na ba yung nasa atin? Mga 5 balikbayan, mga 5. Think 1969 to 1986. Almost every day sumusulat siya.
Senator,
at saka na, it's in his writing.
Iniwan niya sa palace or you blocked it? Sorry, hindi ko maalala.
Iba-iba. Actually, yung iba naiwan sa palasyo, yung iba kinuha ng Amerikano, binalik dito sa Pilipinas. So, kung saan-saan, kaya nga mahirap yung bukod.
Senator, yung quick claim ninyo, may cut-off date in 1972. Did you say 1972? Is that correct?
No.
What year?
There is no quick claim. That is our proposal.
No, that was, yes.
We are proposing, ganito ang gawin natin. We have not come to an agreement with anyone.
But did you set a date, cut-off date
you
for
know
the
what?
quick claim?
No, there's no quick claim.
No, your proposal, sorry.
No, anything that you find, sa inyo na. That's a standing. There's no deadline.
Because you have
There's
identified...
nothing. No deadline, no limitation, no qualification, nothing. Kung sinasabi ninyo meron kayong tinatago, nahanap niyo, kasi hindi namin nilalaban, inyo na.
But you said you have identified the assets of the family.
We have identified what belonged to what truly it is easily shown to have belonged to the families.
What is the market value in total of those?
The house in San Juan, the house in Batak, the house in Paway, the properties in Tacloban. I don't know what the value of that is. Pero clearly, sa amin, maliit pa ako eh. Maliit, nandyan na yung mga bahay na yan. Halimbawa, there are things that...
And these were not contested by the government?
They were.
They were?
Oh. Sini-question lahat. Hindi ba? Hindi ko naman din yun.
Sa Batak, sir. I'm from Batak.
Pinasok yung Batak ha. Kinuha lahat ng painting doon sa Batak.
Pero hindi sila question.
Hindi nila kayang sequestrin dahil pinaligiran ng tao. Hindi sila makapasok. Pinaligiran ng tao sa Batak, yung Batak House. So that's a different...
May nagtanong din, anong comment niyo about the conflict of the President and Chief Justice Sereno? Baka may effect ito on your electoral protest pa o wala?
I don't think so.
Walang effect yun.
I don't think so. Again, whatever happens to the Chief Justice, tuloy pa rin ang protesta. We will still be before the tribunal. We will still be talking about that.
Sir, marami pong Sir, marami pong mga ari-arian na nasa-register na po. Pero nakitaan ito na isa.
Okay. Can we put an end to this discussion? Okay? Ganito lang. Simple lang. Go by me express to the President that this is the position that we would like to settle these cases. Hanggang doon na lang. Nothing has happened since. Okay? So don't ask me about valuation, don't ask me about percentages, because hanggang doon lang yung usapan.
What is the plan of Governor Amy after her term? I think third term na siya. Is she running for the Senate? I'm just curious. She's popular also. She's also popular.
I don't think she has decided what she's going to do. I don't know that she's decided to do anything yet.
First district, sir? Baka first district. Doon na sila katira.
At nakatira siya sa Lawag.
Yes, first district.
Pero ang residence niya is Paway. Kasi yung mga bahay sa Paway, yung Batak is in my name. Paway is in Ivy's name. Kurimaw is in Irene.
So she still votes in first district?
I don't know the last time kung saan siya bumoto. Sa second district.
So parang may calls for your sister to run for senator also. Nakakita na ako ng Facebook groups na Amy Marcos for senator.
Is it possible?
She'd make a great senator. Marunong naman si Amy. Amy is very, very, very competent. Kayang-kaya niya.
Sir, may bad experience po ba kayo sa ombudsman? Kaya po nang ibang...
Ako?
Yes.
No, I can't say so. Why? Why do you ask me?
May iba kasi nagsasabi, meron daw yung dahil ng experience, yung mga nag-offer sa kanila, to fix a case, mga ganun. Sa inyo po
Yung kay Jenggoy, yung ba yung tinutukoy mo? Ano yung sinabi ni Jenggoy? Wala naman ako lang. Tiga amin din yung ombudsman.
Sa inyo. Taga sa inyo.
Tiga Paway yung mga karpyo. Ang mga karpyo is tiga Paway. They're originally all from Paway.
Sir, want to comment sir about Marawi and how the President has handled martial law in Mindanao kasi and BPL, kayo ang nag-stop ng BPL version before. What is your stand on BPL and charter?
Well, I think yung Marawi, mukhang the martial law was necessary dahil nagulat din, I think, lahat ng pati militar, nagulat na napakalalim na pala nung pag-infiltrate ng iba't ng mga terrorist groups at hindi nila akalain na gano'n. That's why they instituted martial law. But I think patapos na. I was talking to some of our friends na leaders sa Mindanao, specifically sa ARM. Sinasabi nila tapos na yung basically what they call mapping up operation na lang. So palagay ko hindi natatagal yan, pati yung martial law palagay ko hindi natatagal yan. About the BBL, siyempre, it's a point of great interest for me because I still have to be, I know, wala pa akong nakitang there was a template for the BBL. I'm a little concerned because the first template na nakita ko, the first proposed draft na nakita ko is very close to the original draft ng BBL na kung saan may mga constitutional impediments doon sa BBL na yun. Na yun ang mga tinanggal namin. Now, I was very gratified to be told by Congresswoman GMA, sinabi niya ang final niya is my version na substitute bill. So hopefully, yan ang mapag-usapan, and I would be happy to explain to the lawmakers, to the legislators now, why I made the changes that I did. Dahil I think it's not, hindi naman siguro, essentially ang kailangan ayusin doon sa original na BBL are the constitutional bodies. You know, there is a diminution, implied diminution of powers of the constitutional bodies such as COMELEC, such as COA, pati na may sariling police, may sariling military, etc., etc., which constitute a sovereign state. Ito yung mga pinagdidibatihan namin nung pinag-usapan yung BBL, which we cannot allow. So that has to be looked into. I'm sure the legislators will come now because unlike the previous administration, hindi naman namimilit yung presidente na itanggal na yung hindi naman si Duterte, hindi niya pinipilit na tanggalin ang arms sa Pilipinas, which is what the previous administration essentially was trying to do. And that's why we work very hard to make sure that hindi mangyari yun, na maging maayos ang pagsulat at pagpasa ng BBL. But it is not a simple issue because look at the perfect example. Catalunya, bumoto sila 90%. Ano ngayon ang mangyayari dyan? Hihiwalay ba? Sabi ng hari, it is illegal. Sabi ng mga prime minister, it is illegal. Hindi dapat nagkaroon ng plebisitong gano'n. Pero nagkaroon, ano na ngayon ang mangyayari? Because we learned many lessons from Catalunya when we were studying the BBL. And that is what we want to avoid. Ayaw natin ipaghati-hati ang Pilipinas. Ngayon, tingnan, pagbasdan natin yung mga nangyayari doon para matuto na tayo na hindi gawin natin lahat, na hindi ihihiwalay ang isang bahagi ng Pilipinas tatanggalin sa Pilipinas. That is the main point here. The reasons that because the diminution of powers of a constitutional body and then the elements that define a sovereign state were already inside the BBL. So, ginagawa nilang sovereign state yung BBL. That is why it is a very interesting exercise now to watch what is happening in Catalonia. What will happen there? Kung anong nangyari doon, kung humiwalay ang Catalonia, how did that happen? Gawin natin ang lahat para iwasan yun. Ayaw natin paghati-hati ang Pilipinas.
May Kurdistan pa sa Iraq.
Nga pala, the Kurds, that's the same thing. Correct. Tama si Wilson. The Kurds also are doing the same thing. What will happen to that? So, is that what we want to happen to the Philippines? Is that what we want to happen with ARM? I have always been, from the very beginning, sinasabi ko, hindi kailangan sumulat ng bagong BBL. Number one, there is a constitutional question as to whether or not the Congress has the power to create another autonomous region. In fact, in the Committee on Constitutional Amendments, which was chaired by Miriam, of which I was vice chairman, ang finding ng committee was that Congress does not have the power to create a Bangsamoro, another autonomous region. Ang sinasabi kong dapat gawin, i-amend ninyo ang ARM. Ay kung anuman ang weakness, kung anuman ang problema, kung anuman ang kailangang palitan na natin yung ARM. We in Congress have the power to do that. So let us do it that way. Napaka-simple. You want to change the name, change the name. You want to change the areas, change the areas. Pero nandyan na yan, and all you have to do is to amend whatever provisions the government feels are disadvantageous to government or are not effective or do not reflect the true intent of the law or of the policy. So that's what I think should be done. But ang approach ng ginawa ay gagawa ng BPL. Sa Mindanao ngayon, I don't know what the sentiment is. The improvement is that ang criticism ko ng BBL noon is that MILF lang ang kausap. Ngayon, sinama ng MNLF. So at least it's important because the MNLF is the recognized entity, is the entity that is recognized by the Organization of Islamic States, with Nur Miswali as head. So if we are to gain the support of the Organization of Islamic States on this, which we need for it to be successful, then we have to take into account the MNLF. That was the first mistake that Aquino made when they forced the BBL down the throat of Congress. So that is something that they have remedied already. Now, as to the provisions, the specific provisions, it's a complicated document. You have to really look into the details. Marami diyang nakatago na unconstitutional, na nakita na namin. And I hope they take note of the substitute bill that I wrote, because we have tried our best to remedy all of those impediments that we had identified when studying the original BBL.
So you want to prevent a Catalonia and a Kurdistan in Mindanao?
I want to prevent the division of the country. I don't think anybody wants us to divide the country or to remove parts of the country from the Republic of the Philippines. I think the first thing that we have to be very sure about is that the Republic stays as is, and its meets and bounds, and it's part of the state.
Can we get back Saba? Teddy Boy Locsin kumakain dito. Sabi niya sa akin, sana kumakain siya dito, kakape. Sabi niya, he and his father was invited by your father daw to Malacanang daw. And your father, I was surprised, sabi niya, your father daw was with the military leader of Indonesia, and they were planning to get Saba. Have you heard of that from Teddy Boy Locsin? Hindi niyo kay...
He told me.
I was so shocked, he told me here. He said your father was had the Delhi plan.
When we were in Congress, he made a speech to that effect.
He said it here in Gulitol.
So
what is your stand on Sabah? Why is it so quiet?
Sabah is part of the Philippines. Very clearly. You look at the history of Sabah. It was leased to the British government. Leased. It was not given to the British. It was leased to the British government. Now, upon the creation of Malaysia, di umalis na yung British, binigay nila as part of Malaysia. Doon nagka-problema. Kami kasalanan dito yung mga English. Oo, kaya kung makakita ko yung mga...
May suggestion ba kayo kay President Duterte on that issue? Imbes na mawala parts of Mindanao, baka we could get something else back? Wala naman.
Yeah, no, that was another part of the BBL. It was yung version namin, yung BL, tinatawag namin BL bar,
yes,
was yung version had a provision that overtly, that specifically stated that this does not abandon our claim to Sabah, because Sabah, that is why the bill that we wrote, all of the bills that we wrote on the yung sa UNCLOS that we wrote for the United Nations, defining the maritime area. We also stated there, this does not imply that we are abandoning, kasi hindi kasama dun sa baselines yung Sabah. So this does not imply that we are abandoning our claim to Sabah. That's still the same thing. We are still claiming Sabah because historically it is very easy to prove that Sabah belongs to the Philippines. It was given to the Sultan of Sulu by the Sultan because of the tinulungan siya, I think, in an uprising. So yun ang parang premyo niya. So binigay sa kanya. So it belonged to the Sultan of Sulu from and that has never been transferred. The ownership has never been transferred. Yun lang, nagkagulo nga because when Malaysia was created, the British gave it to Malaysia when they had no right to give it. Hindi naman sila may-ari, they were leasing it. So ang binibigay, I think up to now, Malaysia is paying the Sultan of Sulu a very small amount.
Saka sir, I heard from historians, your father was the only one who have added territory to our territory with the island. Binili daw niya sa isang admiral na hindi totoong admiral. Nabasa ko lang yun. In the future, you can talk about that. In the future. Baka kasi sinasabihan na kami yan. Maybe one or two last questions. Ibang topic, para bagong topic.
VP Marcos, tanong lang ulit. It's in line with your statement dun sa division ng country. How do you assess yung the readiness of the Philippines for a federal form of government?
Charter change.
Federalism.
Federalism, again, my position on this has really been very consistent. I do not, we do not need to reinvent the wheel in that regard. Kasi kailangan, all we have to do is look at the experience of the other federated states. Mukhang okay naman. Mukhang it's a good system, it will work. Because you look at the United States, it's a federated state. Germany is a federated, France is a federated state. For all intents and purposes, yun ang sistema nila. It seems to look well. And if you look at it on a theoretical level, it's mukhang tama naman. Yun lang, ang problema, sinasabi ko, I was misquoted a couple of months ago and I said that we are not ready for it. I'm not saying that. What I was saying, hindi ako naintindihan or they misinterpreted it. What I'm saying is that I do not know how we will do the transition. Because I was a governor. I know all the governors in the Philippines. Alam mo, pag governor ka, ikaw talagang, kahit kalaban ng presidente, hawak mo pa rin ang probinsya mo. Paano mo ngayon sasabihin dyan sa mga matitigas na governor na yan, o hindi na kayo boss dyan, ang uutusan na lang kayo kung ano yung gagawin dyan sa probinsya ninyo. And the third generation already na governor dito sa probinsya ko, kayo magsasabi sa akin kung ano yung gagawin ko dito. Paano mo gagawin yun? Kasi the proposal is by region, di ba? Region gagawin state. So we will have what, 16 states. How do you tell those mayors, city mayors, how do you tell those governors, hindi na kayong boss dito? Yung boss na galing doon sa ibang probinsya ang magsasabi sa inyo na ito yung... Now, there's a way to do it. But we have to define very clearly kung paano yung step-by-step na transition from what we have now to the federated state. Yung mga leader ito, mabibigat na leader ito mga ito. These are people who have been dominant, politically dominant in their areas for a very long time. Ganun, yan ang nakikita. It's a practical, it's not a theoretical problem, it's a practical problem. In principle, I agree with the federalism. I think it is a good move. And just by when I was talking to the president about this before pa, nung kampanya pa. Sabi na nagbunga ito dahil dun sa BBL. Sabi na, hindi na kailangan mag-BBL kung mag-federated tayo. Maayos lahat yung problemang yan. And that's why his solution. And sabi niya, why not do the whole country? It seems to work for other countries anyway. So yun ang kanyang pag-iisip. And I fully agree with it. Now, we just have to be very conscientious of the political situation in each place. Kasi nga, yung sanay na namumuno dun sa probinsya, hindi siya mamumuno dun sa probinsya niya. May isa pang but it's federated is good because mas malapit ang gobyerno sa tao. Mas bababa. And it's yung mga local ang talagang nagpapatakbo. We hear a lot of Imperial Manila. Totoo naman eh. Pag nasa labas ka, pag nasa ibang probinsya ka, minsan inuutusan kami naman yun, hindi naman nila alam yung ginagawa nila, hindi nila naintindihan yung problema dito. Tapos kung ano-ano mga inuutos kasi magandang soundbite pero it doesn't really work in real life. So those are those problems will be alleviated pag mag-federated. Pag bumaba ang gobyerno sa tao. Lumapit.
So may text dito, how is your mother, Congresswoman Imelda Marcos, how is her work? Health? How old is your mother?
My mother is 88. And lagi niyang pinagmamayabang. My mother is more active than her children. Lahat ng puntahan ko, sasabihin, galing dito yung mother mo, o laging nandito ang mother mo, o papunta rito ang mother mo. My mom, ang biro ko nga sa kanya, every time she has her birthday, sasabihin na, she's 88 years old, But she didn't get the memo. Kasi tuloy pa rin yung ginagawa. Hindi niya iniisip na she's 88 years old. Iniisip lang niya, meron akong gustong gagawin niya.
Health secrets of your mother and you. Is it true she sleeps 4 hours a day?
Baka 3.
3 hours a day.
Pero consistent, ganun talaga siya eh. Hindi talaga masyadong ang kwento ko nga lagi was, ito typical, nandun kasama ng mother ko, sasabihin, may utos sa kanya, di mga midnight, sasabihin ko, sige Bong, tawagan mo si ganito, gawin mo ito, puntahan mo si ganyan, ganyan. Maghihiwalay kami 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock ng umaga. Tatawag yan, 6:30. Oh, nagawa mo na ba yung sinang? Ikaw ang gumising sa akin eh. Sasabihin, babagal naman ninyong mga bata. Sige, lumakad ka na. Kailangan nang gawin yan. Ganun siya ka-active. Ganun pa rin siya sa... And she has always been that way and she still is that way. Siguro, ganyan na talaga yung buhay niya. Hindi na talaga niya magbabago yung style.
Her advice to you on your pending appeal and another case.
No, wala
Ano
naman siyang advice. She's always a mother. Siyempre, politically, I always listen to my mother because politically, napakarunong yan sa politika. She's a intuitive politician. Hindi niya iniisip yung ginagawa niya, pero nararamdaman talaga niya. Alam niya yung paano lumapit sa tao. You know, I've seen my mother talk to kings, queens, presidents, and I've seen her talk to yung pinakamahirap, may sakit, lahat yan, lahat, kahit sinong kaharap na nakakausap niya. And that's where her advice is invaluable. How to deal with people of any kind, from any station in life. So yeah, I'm a fan.
Yes.
Sir,
May question, yes.
By November, magkakaroon ulit ng bidding. And I'm sure, sasali na naman dito yung Smartmatic.
Comelec bidding. What is your comment on the Comelec bidding and Smartmatic?
Huwag naman siguro natin balik-balikan yung Smartmatic. Alam na natin na kung anong ginawa nila. Magsisingit na naman sila ng secret server. Babaguhin na naman nilang mga resulta. How can you call it a democracy when the results of the election do not reflect the wishes of the people?
Sir, is there any offer from the president, like for you to hold any position in the
Yes.
No, I don't. He hasn't made me any offer. I think I don't know why, but I think he's watching the protest.
Sir, kung maging Vice President na po kayo, ano pong pwesto yung preferred nyo na hawakan? Kung si Lenny Robredo's housing, ano?
I would prefer to hold the position that the President would think I am best suited for.
Okay. Pero ngayon sir, willing kayo kung sakaling may offer siya ngayon while may protest kayo, willing kayo na...
Siyempre gusto ko siya, ako buhay ko is in public service kung makatulong ako, so palagay na makakatulong ako. At saka, kaya mo bang hindihan ng Pangulo? Hindi mo yata kaya hindihan ng isang Pangulo kung hinihingi ang tulong mo. Kung sa palagay ko makakatulong ako, siyempre, I will do it. That's my life. Yan ang buhay ko.
Ano reaction niyo? The President seems to admire your father and have fond memories of your father. Ano reaction niyo whenever he explains your father in a balanced or not negative way? How do you feel about all this?
It validates my impression. Marunong talaga itong Pangulo natin.
Who was the better president?
Huh?
Who was the better of the two?
Yes.
You cannot make a judgment until the end.
Okay.
Matawa natin. We'll see how his administration goes, what are the things that will happen. Hindi pa masasabi na nagawa na niya lahat ng gusto niyang gawin sa 6 na taon. So, ayun natin, let's see that. But in terms of identifying peace and order, which is including the drugs, yung sa agriculture, yung sa infrastructure, pareho yung kanilang thrust na talaga they have identified similar sectors that need help, that need focus rather.
You made a speech in Batak about the vision thing. Does he have that?
Yes.
Yes.
He clearly has. Ang vision is yung sasabihin, ano sa palagay, nasan mo gusto ang Pilipinas in 5 years. Meron sa talaga, wala ng drugs. Maganda yung infrastruktura natin. We have good relations with other countries, etc. etc. So yes, he definitely has a vision. It's the first time we've had a president with a very clear vision for a long, long time. That's why he exercises leadership. That is one of the qualities of this president that the Filipinos respect. Leader siya. Hindi siya sumusunod. Hindi kasi sinabi ng survey, yan ang tama, yan ang popular, yan ang gagawin niya. Gagawin niya kung ano sa palagay niya yung talagang makakabuti sa tao. Kahit hindi pa naintindihan ng tao, kahit hindi pa naintindihan ng mga iba, yun ang paniniwala niya. Tapat ang kanyang paniwala doon sa vision na pinag-usapan natin, sa vision niya sa Pilipinas. At dinadala na yung Pilipinas doon. At that quality of leadership is something that has gained him respect. Kaya ganyan ang kanyang approval rating. Kasi nakikita ng tao, hindi ito nambobola. Talaga yun ang tapat niyang pag-iisip. Pag sinabi niya, kahit na gusto niyang murahin, minumura niya talaga. Sabi ng tao, totoo talaga ito. Totoong tao ito. And he cares for the Philippines, he cares for Filipinos. Now, whether or not that I think is undeniable, it's incontrovertible. And that is the 80%, 70%, whatever it is approval rating that the president has reflects that.
Sir, may I just hear from you, sir, how the family has been almost a year since your father was laid at
First of all, we nagulat nga kami because yung death anniversary niya was just last week. So, nandun kami sa libingan. And November na, mag-1 year na pala siyang nalibing. Naninibago kami. Alam mo kung bakit? Ngayon lang kami gagawa ng something na sa araw ng patay. Ngayon lang kami gagawa ng seremonya para sa birthday. Ngayon lang kami gagawa ng seremonya para sa 1 year. Kasi ngayon lang siya nalibing. So naninibago kami, hindi namin alam by this time siguro my father died in 89. It's been so long, pero ngayon pa lang namin dinadaanan ng pangkaraniwan na pamilya na nagre-respeto sa aming ama, nagre-respeto sa kanyang nag-aalala sa kanya, patuloy na pinaglalaban yung kanyang mga advocacy. Yung mga ganun, yung mga tinuro sa amin, sinasabuhay namin, all of those things that we were never able to do before. So, yes, naninibago kami, but there's a very, very great sense of closure. That's definitely true.
Yes, a parting message for the media about
as usual. It is always very interesting to see what the media is interested in, and I'm very happy that you were able to come here this morning. Alam ko na lahat tayo pumupunta rito kasi masarap yung pandesal. But beyond that, marami tayong pinag-usapan. I hope that I have been able to impart to you that I am continuing. I view my life as a life in public service, and despite the fact that I am caught up now with the protest, despite the fact that I am technically not in government, I continue to find ways to help in any way whatsoever, in small ways and in big ways, but because that is my life, and I will continue to do that. Whatever else happens to me in the political arena, that's what we will do.
Thank you, sir. Sir, this is our tradition. Pugon bake pandesal and you have to have photographs for the photographers.
Walang problema.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a very eloquent and very candid former Senator Bongbong Marcos. Alam mo sir, 80 plus ang candidate pumunta dito in the last election. Kayo ang pinaka-SRO. Kayo ang pinaka-back office record. Ang tawag ko ng pandemonium. Sobrang daming tao. Sorry sir. Sir, can we have a picture now for the okay. Would you like to stand? Okay. Pugon Bake Pandesal Traditional.
Endorser.